All right, there we go. Oh, Lando. He really has, listen, he's locked in. You can't say he hasn't. Not listen, Max, what we need, is it gonna rain tomorrow? Hang on. Let me look this up. Weather report Sao. I'll just say Interlagos. I don't know how big Sao Paulo is. Probably pretty big if I had to guess. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's a cloud with one single raindrop. What do we think that means? Oh, only 20% precipitation. It's gonna be, oh, no, it says orange alert storm. Oh, but I think that's now. So, listen, we don't know that yet. Okay, there's still time. There's still time for Lando to flop. All right. Mark Webber was leading the 2010 World Championship going into Abu Dhabi. We must stay strong. Uh, but I am, listen, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't stressed. I'd be lying to you. Because listen, Lando's done really well this weekend. He's locked in. And ironically, like I feel like the qualifying thing was always the problem for Oscar. Ah, what are you doing? This, yeah, it is. It is. It is. Hey, but also Rebel's performance has been so random that I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they'll get it back together.
Well, I mean, the Kimmy Antonelli win in Vegas will put a damper on his title charge.
Of all the moments, Kimmy Antonelli, to choose to get your shit together, this is not the fucking time. I need George up there. I need Max. I need Charles. I need someone crazy who's gonna make a move at turn one. And
I mean, in fairness, do you remember the Austrian GP?
yeah, but that was an accident.
Counterpoint. I don't care. Do it again. Simply forget to brake.
That's true. That's true. But no, the thing is, I just feel like, I mean, maybe not because that's not the psychology of an F1 driver at all. But like, if it were me in that situation, I would be like, all right, we're at Brazil. Like, let me just play it safe and not try to do something crazy.
Kimmy's actually the right person to be here because, like, he can crash out, right? He is here for first or last. He's got a contract for next year.
That's true. I actually guess you're right. There is like he does kind of have no. The thing is, I really needed Charles to be P2 because you want to talk about people with nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, like the reason that the only time George and Lewis ever crashed in a race was Qatar 2023 was because in that situation, both of them were like, "Fuck it, I want to win a race this year."
Yeah. Well, Lewis Hamilton, and I've said this, Lewis Hamilton is the most gracious, gentlemanly driver in the entire world until there is a race win on the line. Because when you've been as successful as someone like Lewis has, he doesn't give a fuck unless we're talking about winning, you know? And that's why it's kind of funny to me because, like, people blame 2021 on Max, and like, don't get me wrong, he can take more than his fair share of the blame. Don't get me wrong. I think those two are cut from the same cloth. But I'm like, anyone who thinks that like anyone who thinks that Lewis is this like perfect saint who's never gotten his elbows out before, is like low key, like that's actually kind of an insult, but they don't realize it though. But also has very clearly never watched a season pre 2019.
Yeah, of course.
I'm also depressed. I'm also depressed.
Why are you depressed?
Max is in P16.
Charles P3. Come on. Chodium.
Listen, listen, we got to look at the bigger picture here. The tragenda.
I mean, look. Here's the thing.
And the subgender.
If Lando wins, Oscar Piastri is just the Mark Webber regen, and more proof that
I low-key think that's like. I actually kind of think that's offensive to Mark Webber at this moment in time.
No, but like, so here's my thing. Like,
McLaren Lewis was a domestic terrorist.
Either Max does the impossible, or Lando won a fraud title in a rocket ship against a fraud teammate.
Yeah, but that's what they always say.
Yeah, counterpoint.
I mean, listen, it's low-key better for the sub agenda for Lando to win. But we're living in the here and now. You know what I mean? Like,
the LN4 are going to be annoying for a day. And then George is going to win the championship next year, and it's all going to be fun.
It's true. I do already have them all mass blocked. So.
Like, oh no, the LN4s are going to be the worst.
No, it will kill me. It will kill me spiritually if. It's not about that. It's about the sanctity of the championship.
Oh yeah, because Jensen Button winning in a
hey
illegal and then sucking ass for the last half of the season wasn't desecrating the sanctity of the
It's an engineering championship, and more importantly, it's a politics championship. And Ferrari, Bernie Ecclestone. Yeah, Bernie Ecclestone was pissed at Ferrari, so them's the brake side here. But here's the thing, that is weirdly, it's funny. See, if I were to argue about this, I'd be like, well, Jacques Villeneuve exists, Damon Hill exists, you know what I mean? But
the 90s
weren't real.
The non-Shumi 90s titles do all suck, yes.
But because 2009, I almost feel like is the perfect example of how the F1 gods will like work things out on the balance, right? Because I think
sure that everybody gets one.
Jensen got royally screwed on timing with McLaren. And in terms of like, that was like, they started their sort of, they were okay at first, but they started their sort of slow petering out as he got there. But they gave him one with the Braun thing.
No, and that's the thing. Like, other than Mark Webber, everybody from that era got one, you know?
Not Felipe. Forgetting about
actually good.
Forgetting about Felipe is better than Mark Webber. Actually, never mind. I take that back.
No, come on.
I know. That was my natural instinct to shit on Mark Webber. Just coming through there.
Felipe Massa was good for like one season.
Felipe Massa should sue Ferrari for damages. I mean that like so seriously.
That is the man. Like, Ferrari, I will say this court case is one of my favorite things of all time because, like, people being like, "Oh, the FIA owes him money for whatever the fuck." It's like
Stefano Domenicali should pay that man £4.5 million.
No,
Stefano was the team principal of Ferrari at the time.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that stuff.
It's confusing because now he's the CEO of Formula One because this is not a real company.
No, of course not.
When people are like, "Oh my God, Susie Wolf, is sleeping with Toto, so it's inappropriate for her to work for a completely different racing series because her boss could potentially commit massive workplace impropriety and then she could theoretically tell her husband." And I was like, I don't know how to explain this to you guys, but Fred is on the rules committee. Like, this is not real.
Fred was on the rules committee and was like the best. Was Toto the best man at Fred's wedding, or was Fred the best man at the Toto Susie wedding?
I don't know. I think it's the
in the groom's party at one of those two events.
Yeah.
You know, like, those two have known each other since before Toto Wolff had any.
Also, you think
aspirations.
You think Toto Wolff and the CEO of Liberty Media don't have a personal relationship? Like,
You think Toto Wolff? You think that no? Like of course all of these people do.
Right.
Like this is a sport where the concept of a conflict of interest is
Yeah, also Toto Wolff is like Dr. Frankenstein raising weird F1 robots in his basement. How about we look into the child labor that man is committing?
well, I mean, but also like literally, so two teams are owned by the same team, by the same ownership group. You have two other teams that are in like technical partnerships.
I don't even give a shit about that.
No, I don't either. But like, I'm sorry, the concept of a conflict of interest, like, respectfully, if Toto Wolff really cares about something and he needs a second party, he literally has his old fucking deputy.
That is such a good point. Team rentals managing drivers on other teams is crazy.
That's also that shit. Like,
Also, isn't Fernando Bortoletto's manager?
yes,
So Flavio is Bortoletto's manager.
you know,
I love that there's like a coach. There's like coaching trees now.
yeah, no, and it's just like, but like all of this shit is like, and then you've got the
The FIA itself is like the craziest organization on planet Earth. It's
of course. But
the
like,
minute I figure out how it works, I'm gonna.
then with the driver academies, right? Like, you know, if it, it's not George Russell when he was at Williams was probably not going to give Lewis much grief,
Yeah.
If Charles was in a title fight, I don't think Ollie Behrman is going to be, defending like a lion.
Yeah.
Charles needs to get through him,
It is always so interesting the like personal because a lot of that you would think it would come down to more political things like that, but I think when it comes down to like those situations, it's like so much more personal. Like Michael moving out of the way for Seb in Brazil 2012 and Seb in Abu Dhabi 2016. I don't think that was Seb like letting Nico have it per se. I think it was more like he's like, I could do something crazy right now, or I could not get involved. So I'm gonna choose to not get involved because I have like kind of nothing to gain here other than P2.
Or even in Abu Dhabi 2022 when Charles and Checo were fighting for P2 in the standings, right?
Yeah.
Like Pierre and Seb both kind of borderline illegally slowing Checo down.
Right.
Like, not because they had, not because they had any,
Yeah.
like, not because the team cared at all, but
No, yeah, because it is like the dynamics of like that part of it always fascinate me because I'm like, some of them really don't fuck with each other, and but you can't really tell as much anymore. They're a lot like publicly nicer than they used to be, which is probably good because of all the scrutiny now. It would be like you could just like never get away with when Senna. My favorite press conference of all time. Everyone should go watch this. I forget what race it is. Maybe Spain. It's like 1992 silly season. So for the 1993 season. And it was the situation where Prost was set to, or had come back with Williams, and Senna was trying to go to Williams for that next year. And, or maybe it was for the 1993 season. So like Prost was already going to come back, and Senna was trying to go as well because McLaren was like entering their flop era. And it came out that Prost had a clause in his contract that they couldn't hire Senna as his teammate. First of all, I hate to say I relate to him, but I do in this instance because I would also lose my shit. It's really such a shame that like that story is kind of ruined. But he literally got into a press conference. So there were two, not Keke, Nigel Mansell is just sitting beside him and somebody else. And the two of them are just like, the entire time as Sen is like, he's a coward and he doesn't want to be around Al. This just like absolutely loses his shit for like 10 full minutes. And then they're like, Nigel, like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't really know.
it's very funny. People, this stuff can be unhinged.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to be like, I don't know. I feel like not allowed, but I feel like they're because there's so much like social media and like regular media scrutiny of everything. I also just feel like our general attitude as a society has shifted in that it's much easier to just never say anything about anything and be completely neutral and like slightly positive and just like go about it that way. What Nico Rosberg,
The real way of putting that is it's less socially acceptable to be an asshole for no real reason.
yeah. I mean, there is a reason. It's also like this is a game. Like it's not. I don't know. But like I don't know. Personally, I think that's crazy because I think that sports are inherently better when the athletes care. And so I don't think you should punish them for demonstrating that they care, you know?
No, and I agree with you on that.
And I don't blame anyone for not caring. Like, I think that that horse guy in the NBA is like the funniest man alive. But fundamentally, I think one of the things that makes F1 so special is that it is like a Truman Show esque experiment where you have raised these children isolated from society in a world where they've been brainwashed to believe that like the pinnacle of success and the only thing that will validate their existence is like becoming an F1 driver and then eventually winning the championship and or like races and stuff. So that's really the underlying like juice that F1 has.
I completely agree. Can we talk about Behrman?
About who?
Behrman.
Oh, yes.
What was that?
I thought you said Erdogan. I was like, what's Turkey up to?
No, Behrman. What was in that house?
I know.
I'm so happy for him. You know? the kind of results that the kind of results that get people really excited, like that, really, you know.
Yeah, I think he's been doing. Wait, first of all, also just sorry, going to the shop for a second. It's crazy that you keep getting criticism because his dream is just to open a restaurant is crazy because I'm like, it's actually sometimes I do worry about them when I'm like, you need to have like one other thing that you care about, like, you know what I mean? Otherwise, like this could go badly.
No, that's completely insane that anybody would be like, yes, I have this other passion.
Right. It's also like it's not like that's like even really a conflicting. It's not like he's like I want to go like join the Air Force or like something that you like can't do at the same time. You know what I mean?
And I mean, like, also respectfully, you know, all of these guys' careers are going to be done by like 40, unless you're like a legend and want to continue to do it.
Right.
And two, I don't know. You can like the skill set. I mean, the skill set of like being good at cooking food and like learning about food. Yeah, is again in no way like contradictory to being fast.
Right.
You know?
The skill set toward owning a restaurant is having money. Like
Well, yes.
anyone can own a no offense. I don't want to shit on his dream. Like I think that that's great, but
I assume that he would want to be like he wouldn't just want to be like a silent part though.
no. You have to be and hands-on and involved in stuff. But I also think, I don't know, I feel like that's actually probably a good thing for an athlete to get into because you have to be F1 is a lot like the NFL, I think, in that like you have to be pretty smart to like understand the like strategy of it all and like they just have to memorize so much shit. So it's like I feel like if you can figure out the steering wheel, you can probably figure out how to run a business decently. You know what I mean? Like if you're willing to figure it out.
Oh, and I mean the fun thing about Sonoda in specific is like people find him to be quite charming.
Yeah, he's clearly got the personality for it. Everybody seems to love him.
I am not as charmed by him, and I don't know why that is. But like,
I like it. I'm like neutral positive. I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan or anything, but he is funny.
I don't know if it's that I actually like it. I don't think it's that he's done anything wrong. I think it's just that like everyone
Yeah. I feel that.
He's incredible. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Like, but I just like that my contrarianism is just like, is he that good?
Yeah, see, I just have I checked out of the Red Bull teammate situation like immediately after the point where Nico Rosberg was like, "Hey, like Checo was doing really well at the beginning of this year, like he was in Q3 consistently and like he's just dropped off out of nowhere. Like what is like has something changed about the car? Like what's going on with his performance?" And Christian Horner was like, "How dare you say he sucks?" And then everyone on the internet was like, "How dare you say he sucks?" And I was like,
That was a seminal day for you.
it really I've never that was the day that I realized that nobody knows how to read or comprehend language. I was like,
Do you know what? But you know what else was that day, don't you?
what?
That was the interview day.
Oh, yes, it was the interview. That was speaking of the dire lack of literacy on the internet. That was I also was like I posted a video and I've never been that's the maddest I've been in a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wrote
What did you say?
I said the first time Lewis and Nico have spoken on camera since 2016. Notice the word on camera. And everybody felt the need to mansplain to me things that they'd heard from the Monaco 2022 interview. The way they acted like they had like, what are you doing?
Grabbing toilet paper.
Oh, okay. I'm like, it sounds like you're like, I don't even know, like popping popcorn or something. But the the they're all they're doing is regurgitating facts to me from the 2022 Monaco interview that happened on Sky Sports. This is not like some crazy insider info that you have or some article you read in German that I don't know about. Like, and also, what do the words on camera mean to you? And this wasn't one or two people because normally I will say, one of my less redeeming qualities as a content creator is that I will get like two comments like that and it'll bother the absolute fuck out of me. This was like dozens and dozens of people. And I was like, I just started commenting back to them, "You're stupid." And then,
And then you made a video.
and then they got mad at me for being like, "Oh, you're punching down, like you're mean, you're nasty." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. So watch how you talk to me." One thing about that, I'm mean and I don't want to be. But if you are mean to me first, I'm sorry to Michelle Obama, but when they go low, I will drag us both to hell. Like this is not.
So people get, for me, they get like one snarky comment, and I'll like either let it go or like respond a bit snarkily. But if you want to go at me, I will go right back at you.
Yeah, another less redeeming quality I have is that it genuinely depends on my mood. That one was like inevitable because it was like this. Something that also bothers me is like even when people are right or even when it's a benign comment, when people are like when a video goes like viral like that one did, like plus like I would say 30,000 views is about the maximum I can get without entering into the male territory of the internet. They just comment the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm like, are you not? Because you have to open up the comments to comment. So, like, surely you're seeing that other people are saying the exact same thing. But I will say, it really depends on what mood you catch me in. And I have fallen, this is why I try not to respond as much anymore, because I have fallen into the trap sometimes of like, taking the tone of something I have a difficult time interpreting tone in writing. And sometimes if I'm not in a good mood, I take something the wrong way that like wasn't meant that way and I go absolutely nuclear on someone who was really just like they were just leaving like a thoughtful comment. The thing is, I feel like I'm sure that they have like exchanged pleasantries, but the way at least the way they both talk about it, it does sound more like Lewis, and it's like Lewis talking to Vivian. then she's probably like, can you two just like get over yourselves? Because like I'm not gonna be a carrier pigeon here.
Very, very much the case. What was the Jesus Christ. So what was George doing with those mediums? Like what the fuck?
I guess maybe he wants to start on mediums that bad.
Well, no, that doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, you're right. They got rid of that rule, didn't they?
That also used to be a Q2 rule, not a Q3 rule.
What?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would it be Q2? First of all, I never knew that the whole time. But why the fuck would it be? I thought it was Q3 the entire time, to be honest.
Because they wanted to make top teams have to have the jeopardy of do we try and qualify out of Q2 on a medium?
Yeah.
Or when the soft was like a shit race tire.
Yeah, I hated that because anytime you introduce like a way to fuck up strategically, I'm against it because if there's one team that's gonna fuck up strategically, it's Ferrari.
Well, the fun thing about the Q2 tire rule was Ferrari pretty consistently took the view that they would rather qualify at 11 and 12 on mediums than 8th on softs.
I mean, there were periods of Formula One where that wasn't a terrible assessment, but
no, but it made it more interesting, and like it also made George getting through 2Q3 for the first time in a Williams on a medium tire.
Yeah,
even more impressive.
That's true. I think that rule's silly because also I think that what makes good racing in Formula One outside of good tracks is when there's strategic variance. So let them variant, you know?
But that was the thing, is that by locking you into the choice, it made it more, it made some people would go soft, some people would go medium.
But all you're doing is giving the top teams more of an advantage, and occasionally one of them will get it wrong and they'll be nerfed into a lower place than they should be. I feel like you're going to get way more variance when people can mess around with it on the day.
Yeah, but that made Saturdays more fun.
Yeah, but qualifying is already exciting. Like nobody's like, oh, like I mean, people like you and me are, but the average viewer that they're trying to appeal to doesn't even know what kind of tires they're on.
That's true. But counterpoint, I liked watching those old qualies more.
Fair enough. I feel like quali has been really good this year, weirdly, because it hasn't really been that good racing wise.
It was what, a third of a second between first and 10th in Q2?
Yeah, I think so. It was close.
Incredible. Things that you love to see.
I hate this. This sucks. Like, why? I would rather watch Lewis Hamilton win by 40 seconds every race than watch these two flops try to outflop each other.
So
Lando's doing really well this weekend. That's unfair of me on our dear friend Lando, but
so you're really looking forward to the Lando forgets to turn at turn 1 tomorrow?
Listen, exactly. We still have a full race. Like the sprint doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It can't hurt you.
Ooh, you have to lose 6 next year? Yeah, because 22. That's going to be fun. The Max, Charles...
We have to lose what?
We have to lose 6 people in each Q1 and Q2 next year.
Oh, yeah.
Top 10 shootout in Q3. No, but the double Max, Charles, Australia 2026, double Q1 Olymp, because their cars both suck, is going to hit like crack.
Yeah, I'm just going to suffer forever, I think.
Just become a George fan. It's your fate.
It probably is my fate in the end, if I'm honest. When Charles becomes a What's the name of Jared Kushner's hedge fund again? It's like Adventure or something like that. It's something Silver Lake.
I just can't think of it.
See, the joke isn't as funny without the name, but I was like, when he becomes a spokesperson for that, I'll have to hop over to the George team. But no, I like George. I'm rooting for George. I wouldn't hate a George championship, except for I would, because now it would mean that like everyone is gonna win one except for Charles. He's gonna be, and not in terms of skill, but he's gonna be the Massa of his generation, and in that he never gets to win a championship because he was devoted to Ferrari.
Yeah, I don't want to say this because I think it will make you spontaneously combust, but you know the funniest outcome, right?
Yeah, you're saying he leaves and then they're good. They're never gonna be good. I don't know how to get this through. Okay.
That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, it makes me so mad when people say that, because I'm like, what? What? Do you think unless a meteor comes down?
No. So here's the plan, okay? I can see the future. 2026, George Russell Championship. 2027, Carlos Sainz Championship.
I'll kill myself.
2028 Championship, Pierre Gasly brings out.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And Oscar Piastri's gonna suddenly remember how to qualify. Like, Pierre Gasly is never winning a championship. It's insulting enough that Lando's gonna win one to the institution of the WDC. I like Pierre. I think he's a solid driver. Let's be serious. Then Lando?
Yes. Pierre Gasly has taken 4 cars that finished in 6th or worse in the WDC to a podium.
Pierre Gasly is Checo, and I don't mean that as an insult. Checo is a very good driver. But let's be serious.
Podiums in cars that finished 6th or worse in the WDC.
Congrats. If he was that good, somebody would want him, and nobody does.
Alpine. He has like the 3rd longest contract on the grid right now.
Oh, congratulations with Alpine. Again, he's a very solid driver. He's great. He will be in the midfield forever, and it will never matter.
Well, no, because again, Mercedes engine.
It's still Alpine. And you think every team that has a Mercedes engine, Williams had a Mercedes engine the last time around when that was a big deal, and they still sucked. Like, you can still suck with a good engine.
They were fine until like the team went bankrupt. They were good until the team went bankrupt. And also, they didn't have James Fowles. Okay. And look, Flavio, very good at his job.
Sure, but
what you think? You think they're not going to be? What you think they're going to be suddenly be bad at?
I think that you saying definitively that Pierre Gasly is going to win a championship is like the craziest take of all. I think it would be less crazy to say that Kimi is going to win.
Oh, for sure, that would be less crazy. I also didn't definitively say he was going to. I said that's your worst nightmare. It's just like every.
Oh no, that's none of this is my worst nightmare. Do you know what my worst nightmare is? Fernando Alonso.
Really, the Seb agenda over the Shaw agenda.
For such a, that's not just a blow. That would be striking the twin towers of the Seb agenda. Okay, that would be so bad for the Seb agenda. It's not even close. There's not even anything that could happen to the Charles agenda that would be that bad.
I mean, why would a 3rd Fernando championship be that bad? He'd still have more.
Yeah, but it's all what have you done for me lately? It's all anyone would talk about is like that iconic comeback. Oh my god, no. People already think Fernando is better than Seb. If that happened, genuinely I would, and I mean this, probably stop making Formula 1 content.
The reason we think, look, I don't think I'm like half doing a bit with like the George WGC we already know it thing. Like obviously we don't for sure, but the case for it, the optimistic case is, they did basically abandon development on this year's car very quickly.
They've said that for the past 5 years in a row. Just saying.
They haven't, unfortunately.
They
I have never been out here being like George Russell has a chance to contend.
I think
Like,
Mercedes
reasonable. I have been very reasonable with what I have thought about Mercedes' chances in the last few years.
I think that Mercedes will probably be good next year, but also engine. Even if they do have this magical engine that's so good, that the engine,
Give George Russell and Landon Norris roughly equivalent cars.
but the engine isn't what's currently the problem. You know what I mean? And they still have the same.
The engine is going to be like the Merc engine is like the best, but like all of the three major engines are basically within a tenth of each other.
But you don't know.
I'm aware that McLaren has a Mercedes engine.
Right.
I'm saying that McLaren has overinvested in this red cycle and we haven't.
Right, but McLaren has demonstrated an ability to make a car good that's good aerodynamically, and Mercedes has not demonstrated that in 5 years, 4 years.
Counterpoint. I am fully partially because James Allison. Well, okay. What actually happened is James Allison went to go design fucking yachts.
Why do they all want to do that anyway?
I have no idea. But what happened? And I was like, I stand 10 toes down on this. Was that they got in a bad design rut, right? And they just were behind the entire time, right?
Yeah, but McLaren started lower than them.
Sure, but McLaren. The problem is that McLaren had the ability to basically say, we are punting the first half of 2023 and like just fully blowing up our concept, right? Like fully blowing it up.
But that's on Toto for choosing not to do that. You know what I mean?
There are pressures when you have Lewis Hamilton in your team, okay?
And right, pressures to not be stuck in P4 hell, which you were for 6 years.
There are also pressures to say that you.
Also, let's not wait. Let's not rewrite history. Lewis wanted them to blow up the concept, and Toto was like, no, this car has potential. The Fred line, perhaps Fred learned it from him.
No.
I distinctly remember that drama.
Okay. That wasn't the problem. Lewis wanted them to go to essentially do the copy of the Red Bull sidepods package, which was the problem. Was that they were going? They essentially spent their 23 redesign on attempting to replicate everybody's 2022 cars, and that everybody's 2022 cars were faster in 2023 because that's how development works. That was the problem. We were always 6 months behind development-wise of everybody at all.
Okay, so what makes they flopped on the last concept? What makes you think they're not going to flop on this concept? And to be honest with you, the only reason that Mercedes was ever dominant is because Christian Horner chose to use a Renault engine for 4 years longer than he should have. Their aero has never been that good.
No, but one, it's likely that we are going to have a better engine than the other sort of like leading than the Adrian Newey team, right?
Yeah.
Now, how much? Obviously, if the Mercedes engine is 2/10 better than Newey is more than 2/10 better than James Allison.
Yeah, it has to be a lot.
But like.
Right, and that's exactly. We know nothing. Like you're stating these things, like everybody accepting the Mercedes premise. It's like even if it's true, we don't know how much, and also we are not going to know anything until testing and probably the first race, except for the fact that Ferrari will screw this up somehow. We know that.
It's easier to know. I think it's easier to know that Red Bull and Ferrari are nowhere next year.
We don't know how. We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
I think there's a chance Red Bull could be all right. I mean, the only reason we know Ferrari is nowhere is because it's
everything you're hearing about the Ford engine project is bad.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we'll see. But there's a lot of Mercedes engine teams. Alpine is not going to be good. I don't know what's going to happen.
Williams are 2 years away.
Yeah, I think Williams will make a jump to like probably the midfield and with some rate tracks.
Their P5. Well, they're P5 now. Like in the constructors. The real question is
Yeah, but they still have flop, like they've had some flop weekends. You know what I mean? Like they're not really.
yeah, but what they need is so this year they'll get a big whack of prize money, and then they need another big whack of prize money next year.
Yeah.
So that they can fix all the reliability stuff, because that's the problem. Is that like when the car hooks up, it can be competitive, but like there's just too many weekends they're throwing away because Sainz's engine doesn't work properly or this doesn't work properly.
Yeah, here's the thing, it's gonna be
3 weekends in a row with
right.
reliability issues.
Unless Aston Martin, I mean not unless Honda completely shits the bed, it's going to be Aston Martin because like they said, I forgot about that. It's active aero. You know what? Want to know why they got rid of active aero? Because Adrian Newey was so much better at it than everybody else that it ruined Formula One. So
you have repeatedly said that Newey is going to need 2 years.
Yeah, it's true. 1 year it is the first year out the gate. I feel like it's a little crazy to expect it to be like that good, but I feel like I feel like people are like, oh, well, like Aston Martin has a Honda engine. I'm like, Honda had it. Yeah, and they are starting from scratch, and they're 50-50 on their results in Formula One. So we'll see.
I think Honda, okay, like my tentative power rankings, like again, based on the speculation, the things we think we know, or tier list. They'll do it as a tier list. Merc, McLaren, Aston, in whatever order you want to argue those. And then it's kind of like, and then it's like probably Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams.
Yeah.
Like, because, and then you're in the like, who is Cadillac getting an engine from? Ferrari?
Nobody. They're building their own, aren't they?
No, because they don't have the engine ready for 26, but they do have a Ferrari contract, right? Yeah, and then they're building their own engine in 28.
I'm gonna need a little bit more. I need all of the like really annoying Andretti people. They have to be, I need them to be like forced almost labor camp style to be Andretti super fans. Because they were so annoying about it for like 2 years, and then ever since they got accepted, I like haven't heard a peep.
Oh, so you're saying is that you hated America?
Yes. But for unrelated reasons. I don't know what that has to do with fucking Mario Andretti. Why the fuck should I care about some random guy from Pennsylvania?
I mean, really, you should just like lean into being a Haas fan, Haas fan, whatever the fuck it is.
I don't give a fuck about which car company. I'm here.
American owner and Ollie Behrman.
No, I'm rooting, but like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I care about car companies. I don't. The teams are a means to an end for me. I'm here to see which of my favorite maladjusted children is gonna win we do the death race in circles competition. Like I don't. The teams are a means to an end to me because it's like they're all I mean, it's just a faceless corporation, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like football where it's like that it technically is still a faceless corporation, but it's like geographically based. Like they're all from England except for Ferrari. Like they're not here, you know what I mean? I can't go to the I'm sure there is one in North Carolina, but that's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not
That's the NASCAR aspect.
Right. And it's like you can't like Ferrari, like you can do it makes sense for the Italians to be that invested. Like you can do the pilgrimage. There's a museum. You can go to Enzo Ferrari's house. Oh yeah.
No, I'm more about your pronunciation of the word museum.
Museum?
Museum.
Am I saying it wrong? Museum?
Museum. So I do a harder E, but then you do. You do a they, like as in like musée. I do a Z, like a more of an E, like
museum, like a Brit.
I don't know. Maybe that's the Canadian. Maybe that's the Canadian American dialect.
Maybe. I will say, people from
Max didn't go to. Max didn't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. Max didn't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mercedes. He can't go to Mercedes because he can't go to Mer Not for 26. He couldn't have gone. There was never a seat available to him. And also, like, respectfully,
Sorry.
if I'm Max Verstappen, there's no reason not to wait a year.
Yeah,
This was the thing we kept saying for months.
no, that was always, I think, like leverage to get rid of Horner, in my opinion.
So the thing for me is, look, maybe Mercedes sucks, right? Maybe the haters, maybe the haters will be the waiters at the table of success for.
No, I still think they're going to be good. I just think talking about it like it's a foregone conclusion, like pretty much public opinion is crazy, given that like it's not like they have been flawless in recent years.
No, but okay, maybe Mercedes is great, right? Maybe, right? Well, then you can just go there in 27. There will be a seat available, right?
Right. Also, Mercedes was never gonna. I will tell.
If it is only say 0.2 better than the Honda engine, the Honda engine is like a above the baseline level of competency for Adrian Newey to make it a championship car. Then just go there, because Lawrence Stroll will let Helmut Marko come.
Yeah.
No,
I think Max will go to
if
Aston, not Merc.
is in range.
Yeah. I think he would vastly prefer all other things being equal to go to Aston Martin, because he's definitely going to have a lot more leeway. Like, Toto's not going to put Helmut Marko in charge of the Mercedes driver program. Like, that's just not happening.
Max can break his Red Bull contract for 26. That's the problem. Yes, theoretically they could have fired George.
They were never going to fire George. It would have been Kimi.
But yes, the thing is that like Max can get out of his contract for 26. He has a much easier, at least as we think we know. We think Max has an easier contract policy to break next year, and or if the Red Bull engine is bad as what the people think it is,
then he can.
Then he will be very far off the.
Well, also.
Very far off
my thought on the matter was always just that like it literally makes there's no advantage to be gained in jumping. It makes so much more sense to jump in 2024 than it does to jump in 2024 2027 than 2026. But I genuinely think, well, no, he must have somehow been able to do it, because otherwise that leverage wouldn't have worked. But I always thought that it was like, maybe he was really willing to jump, but in my opinion, the main goal was to win the little power struggle that was going on behind the scenes. But I also think that Max Verstappen was not born to suffer, and he will go at like wherever he thinks that the car is going to be the best. But I feel like Aston is definitely going to be willing to be more accommodating toward Team Verstappen, shall we say? Because like, are they gonna? I guess they would probably love to have GP, but like, would they let him? You know what I mean? No. But like, I feel like if for Max, if like Mercedes really were that gone. Although I've always been like, I also think there's a decent chance that Max just retires rather than go to another team, and goes and does another series. But does Helmut Marko need a job? The man is 110 years old. Surely it's time.
And that's the thing. Like, if the cars are equivalent, right? Like, let's say that all the data, that's when Max would make his the cars are like adjusted pace of the cars, right? Bang the same, right? The engine's a bit better, but Newey's aero is a bit better. Then Mercedes will have to give the bells and whistles, and Jos Verstappen could be in the paddock all the time. And Helmut Marko, you're a senior advisor to.
Yeah, I also think
the Petronas F1 team. But if And Mercedes is the fastest car in second heads, and they're roughly won 9 of the first 11 races. Then it's, yeah, Max, if you want to come, that's fine, but we don't feel the need to roll the red carpet out for you.
Yeah.
Depends.
I also think that like Toto appears to like the whole weird Max Verstappen like public romance campaign. It was strange. And that's not to say like everybody always pushes back and is like, well, like I know he was a Mercedes Junior. I know he's the one that I have no doubt that Toto would prefer that Max Verstappen were a Mercedes driver. Okay? But I never heard a peep about that until Lewis Hamilton left Mercedes. Like it was such a clear and obvious cope that like I'm like, would he be willing to I feel like someone who you don't get to be a billionaire Marco in the building after he just brought down Christian Horner.
Well, and been like generally quite.
He's a problem. That man identifies as a problem.
Yep.
And also like Toto and him it's interesting. They're both Austrian, but it's like they clearly don't fuck with each other. Normally, the ones from each country, like they kind of run together. You know what I mean?
Well, I think when you are
a virulent racist.
Yes, and you have just been employing the most. Is Lewis the most famous modern black athlete?
Maybe Tiger Woods. I guess it depends on what's bigger, golf or F1. I don't know, but
Probably
maybe
internationally F1 in American golf.
Okay, no, I feel like Michael Jordan. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Does Michael Jordan qualify as a modern athlete?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on your definition. You're right. Yeah, I feel like because basketball is so big in China, maybe like LeBron, but I mean Lewis is definitely up there, definitely top 5.
Okay, fine. On the Mount Rushmore of most famous black athletes, I feel like the guy who is just like needlessly and like combatively racist for no purpose.
Yeah,
is not exactly not exactly be persona.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like fine, I guess. Nobody really cares because, like Bernie Ecclestone still gets to roam free after being like, I love Hitler and the Taliban. But, and also Stalin for some.
being besties with Vlad.
Right. And he was like, I love Putin, Xi Jinping, Trump. He just did like a roundup. But also Hitler. Normally, even Kanye West didn't really survive the I love Hitler comments. Like he's the only person in the world. I probably shouldn't be saying that over and over again on live, but I think he's the only person in the world who has said that, and nobody and not one person cared. Not one. It's crazy. It's him and the king that abdicated. Those are the two, and they're both British. But he and here's the thing. It's crazy to say. That's like the third most destabilizing thing about Helmut Marko. Like he's just constantly an issue. That man does nothing but cause problems. It's his favorite, it's his hobby. He loves it. It's what keeps him alive.
It is quite fun, yes. I this is going to be a bad thing to say out loud. I am grateful. No, I'm not actually. I was going to say I was like grateful for his presence in F1, but like no,
Wow.
the racism is too bad.
It's too bad. It's too bad. It's like openly, yeah, it's too bad. When he said that Sergio Perez should be used to rocket attacks because he's from Mexico. It's giving Jensen Button boobs aren't aerodynamic territory. You know what I mean? Like, it is. He's said more offensive things, but like, I think about that every day. I'm like,
yeah, no, not good. I mean, not good. I dare say it's not good.
yeah. And also really stupid. Do we think that the cartels are launching cruise missiles into the neighborhoods of Mexican senators? Because I just feel like I would have heard about that on the news. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm
with you.
Oh, Helmet Marco. One day we'll wake up to the best news ever. But he No, I don't think Mercedes would, not because they shouldn't, because it's the morally wrong thing to do, but because I think that like I mean not Toto, like Toto is a pretty competent manager, and why would you invite a tornado into your house, you know?
Yeah, no, it would be a horrible idea.
I think he would let Yas like hang around, but
I mean, unfortunately, they seem to be friends,
yeah.
which is not fun. Like, deeply, deeply frustrating that, Toto Wolff seems to like bad people.
I mean, I don't know. Have we seen them like hanging out? I mean, he hangs out with Flavio, Toto, so
But like, some bad shit.
yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah. We like also like I don't think Yas is the problem per se, even though he's probably a worse person than Helmut Marko. Although it's hard to tell because he doesn't talk as much. Like Helmut Marko has his weekly column.
So one of the funniest things that has ever happened.
Whoever gave him that column needs to be investigated. What? They knew what they were doing. But yeah, Josh Verstappen isn't out here like actively. Because here's the thing, Helmut Marko kind of causes problems for like no reason, right? Like he's not. Josh Verstappen is like obviously working toward whatever agenda he's working toward. Who could possibly know? But um Helmut Marko's a little bit more chaotic internally. And also it's like Yas can hang around the garage all he wants, but like at the end of the day, his power is derived through Max. And that's like partially true of Helmut Marko as well, but he is also employed by the team, or not the team, actually, the company Red Bull. Like he technically has a job. Jos Verstappen does not have a job.
So why is he there as often? That's always my thing with him. It's like, what is the
Jos?
Yeah, like why?
I would imagine to have sex with inappropriate women in clubs and party would be my guess as to what he's doing.
Max won Coda, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing a fun thing where, do you remember when you came on the Scrimshaw show and did a preseason prediction of every single race who will win every single race?
Yes.
I have decided to tally up the results of that contest.
How are we doing? I had Charles winning like 10 races, so you know.
I'm not gonna. Would you like to know how you were doing compared to me?
Sure.
You are 4 of 20 so far.
All right.
I am 1 of 20 so far.
Huge. I'm crushing it. I got 4 whole right. I don't remember what I guessed, but
Oscar to win Saudi Arabia.
okay.
Lando to win Hungary.
Okay.
Max to win Coda. Lando to win Mexico.
Okay. Okay.
My only correct was George to win Montreal.
You had a more fun one come true than me, though. Who's the real winner?
I mean, my driver did get to win the race in my favorite place in the whole wide world. So, I'm definitely winning. I did this with. I'm now counting you were the only person I asked. Georgia, Singapore.
I will say Canada may get the short end of the stick driver wise, but you do have, and it's kind of the same thing with America, but we can hold our heads high in that we have 2 of the best tracks.
Yep. No, it's great. Apparently, I am fourth in a 4-person competition of the people I asked.
Hell yeah.
I have gotten 1 correct. Two people have gotten. Sorry, somebody got 3 correct. The buddy I usually watch things with. A lawyer buddy of mine in Toronto has 4 correct, and you have 4 correct as well. Do you want to know your picks for the next 4 races?
Sure.
This is a real time capsule. This is a
this was back when I had
2025 shit.
This is back when I had the will to live.
Real like time capsule that we were living in. Stuff.
No, the only thing I remember is that I was trying to do the math to. I know I made Charles win the championship, so these picks have got to be insane.
I mean, we'll go through your entire picks in a minute. You have Lewis winning tomorrow. Oh, how happy were you that Lewis out in Q2 again?
I would never be happy to see Lewis Hamilton suffer. I will say I was pleased that Charles beat him, as I am every time, mostly because it doesn't really fucking matter at all, and I gotta prioritize my boy and you know, the Lewis fans on Twitter. I like to see them suffer, but I don't like to see Lewis suffer, so Q2 is a little bit dramatic. Plus, is it gonna rain tomorrow? It said 20% chance of it raining tomorrow.
It seems like it's gonna miss the track.
Oh.
So Lewis is winning next week. Oscar's apparently winning in Vegas for you, and then Charles is winning Qatar and Abu Dhabi.
Still possible.
Your full prediction: Charles to win Melbourne, Max to win China, Charles to win Japan, Lewis to win Bahrain, Oscar to win Saudi. Correct about that one. Lando to win Miami, which I agreed with you on.
It's because he's spiritually Miami is his home race, you know?
For sure. Charles to win Monaco. Wow, that was one of the very few that had all 4 people saying that.
Everybody just wanted to believe, you know?
Spain, you had Max. Montreal, you had Lewis, the only person who didn't tip George to win that.
I think I was realizing that I hadn't given Lewis enough wins at this point.
Correct. Charles to win Austria, Lewis to win Britain. Wow, everyone was predicting Lewis to win there. You predicted George to win Spa. I guess for the DXQ. Lando to win Hungary, correctly. Lando was projected to sweep Zandvoort. Didn't happen. Charles to win Monza for you. Lewis to win Singapore. Coda, Max, Mexico, Lando. Which you were right about.
Hopefully
There's so much Ferrari predictions.
Yeah.
Like everybody, not even you. Like,
because and the worst part is looking back on it, and I low-key knew this at the time because this is like my 45th time doing this. There was really no reason to believe that Ferrari was going to be good this year. Like, that was based on nothing at all.
Well, it was based on the end of last season.
They do that every time. Everything.
Not usually that aggressively.
Sometimes it's at a different point in the season. In 2022, it was at the beginning. But I would say
2019, it was in the middle.
Right. About every 3 or so years, they will have a 6-race stretch where they look like a top team. And then everybody will be like, they're totally back. And then they'll flop. And then they'll be like, it's because our drivers suck. Rinse and repeat.
I mean, Antonelli, I picked Antonelli for Brazil. That could happen.
No offense. That shit ain't happening. If it happens, I'll eat my word. But winning at Brazil as a rookie, it would, let me tell you this, it would vastly change my opinion of Kimi Antonelli.
I mean, winning in Brazil as a rookie in your first season in a Mercedes. That is Mercedes lore.
That is Mercedes lore. I will say, the people that try to act like Kimmy's having a harder time because he's in a Mercedes versus not being in a Mercedes, it's not like they're good. He's in a midfield team.
I mean, I don't know. Aren't we in like second in the constructors?
He's in a midfield team. It's not my fault. The top tier is one team. He's not. It's not that hard. And also, if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. Oscar is proving my theory correct, by the way. And I don't want it to be, but I don't think the drivers fundamentally improve that much from the time that they're rookies. I think that they hone out silly mistakes, but I don't think that they get faster.
I mean, at least Kimmy is beating Albon in the standings because there was a stretch where he wasn't.
It's also I need a McLaren to crash. It's also tough because George is such a good qualifier that, like, I think Kimmy's kind of suffering from the same thing Lewis is suffering from right now, which is that he's really not that far off a very, very strong qualifier, and everyone's acting like this is a Red Bull second driver situation.
Well, no, because the other thing that's happened is that Toto Wolff is not raising expectations to a place they should not be by being like.
Oh yeah, he was like, this is like Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost somehow invented.
That was true, but then also like when Antonelli was kind of in his like, I don't want to say flop level, like when he kept DNFing, right?
Yeah.
Like, spoiler, being like actually like he's better than George Russell. It's like simply not a good thing to do for the confidence of the driver.
And also, if I were George, I would kill Toto Wolff in his sleep. Like, he's been so first to do the whole weird psychosexual obsession with Max. My number one op in this world, annoying. To openly be like begging Max to come to the team and then to kind of allow everybody to assume that I would be the one to be fired and to like keep me on the string like that after completely fucking me over by keeping Valtteri Bottas on 2 years longer than you should have, and then lying and being like, oh well, Williams wouldn't let him go. Bitch, you could have bought out the contract.
Yeah, no, I agree. Here's the counterpoint.
And then to be like Kimi Antonelli is better than you, I would burn his house down.
So here's the counterpoint. Okay, to be nice to Toto Wolff, George Russell could have signed the contract a lot earlier. It just would have been a worse contract for George Russell.
He was trying to Valtteri Bottas him.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Which is fine to do to Valtteri Bottas, but if I'm George Russell, I would be like, I'm not Valtteri Bottas. I'm Lewis. And obviously that's, but that's got to be his stake in the ground.
Yeah, and that's why the deal took quote unquote longer to get done. But like George waited until he had a deal that he wanted to sign.
George played it very, very smart. And he kind of Uno reversed Toto, which I do like. But I'm just saying, like, the way that Toto Wolff has completely passed George Russell aside to be like, Kimi Antonelli is like the next coming of Christ. And like, I get that you're trying to build his confidence, but like, really what you did is like heap a shitload of pressure onto him and then talk about how much you love Max Verstappen for 6 months. So there's this like Damocles hanging over both of their heads, which only heaps more pressure on. But also the thing with Kimi is like, I will say I think the crashing and that's the type of shit that he will improve on with experience. You know what I mean?
Like Kimi is having a better season than like 108 points suggests.
He has shown quickness and he's shown wheel-to-wheel ability. I think he's solid. I don't think he's the next Max Verstappen.
But like, I mean, P2 qualifying his teammate twice in a weekend. out qualifying the second in the championship twice, out qualifying Max Verstappen twice.
Max Verstappen did P16.
And this is the kind of weekend that, like, I don't want to say scares me in, like, the sense of George fan. Like, I still think George is better than Kimmy. But, like, this is the kind of weekend that, like, if I see 2 or 3 or 4 more of.
Well, that's the thing. It's the consistency.
I will start to wonder, like, oh, is this, you know.
Maybe if he beats Lando. But I'm not impressed by a podium. You should have been getting podiums this whole time.
You just called it a midfield car.
How many podiums does George have? At least 4.
Oh, more than that. I mean, he has 2 wins.
Yeah. I didn't say a win. I said a podium.
No, but I'm just saying, like, let's see. George has a podium in China.
Kimmy has a podium, to be fair, I think.
Montreal. He has 1. No, I'm now trying to figure out how many podiums George has.
I'm thinking about the hat picture. He's got a lot of hats on in that hat picture.
China, Bahrain, Miami.
Right.
But it was a disaster for us. Spa was a disaster for us. Austria was a disaster for us. Montreal, obviously. That's 4, I believe.
Yeah.
If I can do math properly. It's Singapore. Is Singapore George's 5th? Oh no, Baku is 5. Singapore is 6.
Okay. That's my thing. And, like, here's the thing.
How does George have? What are George's 2 other podiums?
Here's the thing. It's like, this is, like, to me, the easiest call in the entire world, because you have, if we're not talking about, we're judging on a very unfair standard here, because we're talking about world champions. I'm not talking about the Danny Ricks of the world, okay? We're talking about champions.
Danny Rick never was given a championship car.
Because he ran away like a scared little boy.
Because he was scarred by the Renault engine.
To be fair, he was like, no, but he went to Renault. Like, that's the craziest part. He was kind of right about that, to be fair. But he wasn't wrong to leave. He probably would have gotten fired before anyway. That's beside the point.
They would not have kept that same driver lineup. Like, driver lineup just so.
And all he had to do was, like, not suck at McLaren for like half a season, and he would have had a championship winning car.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. But I think Danny Rick is very good. This is what I'm saying, is that, like, there is just another level, and, like, you really can't know until they get a championship winning car. And I think that if we're talking about drivers on that level, like, they all come, and I do think that George is at least a top tier midfield driver, but I believe that when he gets a championship winning car, he will display that ability to us. So the fact that you're getting your ass whooped by George Russell, and again, as a rookie, I don't necessarily expect them to win per se, but he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. This is like the second or third time he's qualified George.
Right.
Like,
but this is the kind of thing he needs. So if he can do this, a couple more, if he can get a podium tomorrow and show a couple more
tomorrow, be competitive against George in Vegas, where George is, like, literally the defending winner.
Yeah. He needs to beat George one more time, I think. But also, I'm like, kind of like, I don't know. I feel like when you look at the drivers who went on to be titans of the sport, multiple championship winners, they all came in and were good.
Got a podium in Hungary? Huh.
They all came in and were good from the jump. Every single one of them. There are some one-time champions where that wasn't the case. But
just say Jensen Button.
I don't think we need to be mean. to
I'm sorry. I'm fine with being mean to boobs or not aerodynamic Jensen Button. Okay.
To me, the craziest part about Jensen Button is those commercials he does for the British brands that are colonizer core. Have you seen the one?
Somebody should make a company called Colonizer Core. But like, like a black-owned business. Like, do what I want.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Dude, sorry, that sounded so much worse.
I was like, that seems like a really terrible thing that you shouldn't do.
No, I meant it like. No,
Yes.
I meant like a black-owned.
Yeah,
business.
that's fair, and do like that style of. I would love that because then I could buy from them because I unfortunately like I do want to wear a barber jacket, but
Right.
I just
No. We're on the same page now that I've
here's the thing.
explained myself properly.
Most of them are fine. It was all fine. I loved these ads. He was holding 10 sausage dogs and running through fields in front of British castles. It was great. And then they did two that were sort of it was he was colonizing Africa. That's really the only way I can describe the setting to you. You got like the camp table and the tent and he's got the hat on. And I'm like, never has there been a British man in a desert and they have not been there for evil purposes. You know what I mean? Like there's just no context in which this could be a positive illusion. And I genuinely I'm not gonna listen. I don't want to. It's kind of random to lead the charge on. I did quote tweet it at the time and say colonizer core, and people got really, really, really mad at me and started calling me racist. So I just deleted it, even though I'm pretty sure that you can't be racist against British people, but that's beside the point.
Yes, I mean, reverse racism is a very real thing. Your Supreme Court has said so.
Great. Awesome.
How are we feeling about the fact that the American economy is like literally teetering on Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch doing the right thing?
So good. So good. So good.
What? You're not excited for the Coney Barrett girl boss save the economy opinion?
Listen, there's a horrible, horrible part of me. I don't really want this. This is like 13% of me. Obviously, I don't want to collapse the entire United States economy because that would be really bad for a lot of people, including me. But like people, yeah, like that costs lives, like it just does. So like I don't really want this, but like there is a part of me that wants these dumb motherfuckers. Like I'll be all right. Will the farmers be all right? Will people in Iowa be all there's a part of me that wants some people to learn their lesson. But unfortunately, I am largely against human suffering. So that I do not truly hold that opinion, but
Oh, come on, live a little. Being against human suffering is so 2017, That's so peak woke of you.
I would like I would also like to be able to retire someday,
I mean, that would be nice. Nice dream you had there.
Yeah.
So, of the rookies, let's actually have like a real conversation here. Of the rookies, who do you think, not in terms of who has had the best season in terms of like standings, who do you think has had the best season in terms of showing that they are not necessarily future WDC, because that's a hard thing to be, but like future WDC contender?
I think Ollie and Isaac are at a tie right now. They've both had, it's kind of the opposite in that Isaac has had they've both been very consistent in quali. Isaac has had like more standout moments in the race. I feel like Ollie has been more just like consistently hanging out, but I feel like those two paths are more of a function of the teams that they're in than like their true talent. But yeah, I think that they're definitely the standouts. But actually, weirdly, I feel like this has been a very strong crop of rookies. Like I feel like they've all done okay.
I mean, well, how are we defining it? Does Liam Lawson count as a rookie still?
I gotta be honest with you, I forgot about him.
Because, like, I think he still qualifies, kind of.
Yeah, it's his first full. Well, yeah. How many races did he do before this? 4, maybe not.
Oh no, he did a lot more than that. Because he did like 4 when he stood in for. When he stood in for.
Oh my God, look, this
Danny
tracker has a
Rick, and
heart.
then he did 6 last year.
Oh, then no.
I mean, I don't know why I believe this, but I kind of get like real like Hajar, like Pierre Gasly vibes, which is like very like overqualified number 2 driver.
Here's the thing. I can tell you, Isaac is never gonna. He's gonna be ruined by Red Bull, unfortunately.
Is that all it is? Is that
But-
is it that I'm not even judging the performance? I'm just judging that he's about to get
Motherfucked.
Verstappen.
Yeah,
Mollywopped is a good word.
it is. I think that it's more like I just think that being in the Red Bull program right now is. But then again, Ollie's gonna go to Ferrari, and that's also a death sentence. So.
Are you again the Bertinelli 2028 lineup when Charles leaves?
I hope they make them kiss on the mouth. That's my only take.
So
Sylvia's getting close. She's getting close.
So here's the thing, okay? Here's how we make the 2028 grid shipper's paradise, okay?
Max and Charles at
Mercedes.
I'm not even pro Verstappen or whatever. First of all, it should be Chax. This has always been my take on the matter. But the anti Verstappen people have got to be the craziest group of people on the internet. Like
they're so obsessed with it.
They care about it more than anyone who is pro. Anyone who is they care about it more than anyone who's older than 15 cares about Verstappen. And
by the way, to be clear, when I say like shippers paradise, that's a joke.
No, right. They don't because it's not serious. Like it's just so not like they were like and you can tell that the anti-Verstappen they must be children. That's what I just tell myself to make myself feel better. Because
no, but they're like the real knowledge hashtag when I started watching this sport.
No, these are grown men.
Pay attention to these stupid
Yeah.
drivers.
Unfortunately,
replaceable tarps.
Unfortunately, these are adult men, which is crazy. But because they were like Verstappen found dead in a ditch because Charles got engaged. I was like, I think that they think that it's real, and I'm like,
well, they clearly think that people think it's real, right? They think that like when people are talking about Verstappen, it's like not a joke.
yeah,
like it's really just people making fun of the fact that like the two of them cannot be normal in each other's businesses.
Yeah.
But, like,
well, no, it's the Verstappen narrative. Like, I also don't really think that most people who are like Verstappen are shippers in the traditional sense of the word because F1 does have this weird thing where like the narratives are important and like having a faded rivalry like that can do a lot for your rep in the long term. You know what I mean? And the Charles and Max thing doesn't work unless they fight each other for a championship. But the like
so you've always said that you what's it you've always said about Fernando wants his rival to be
oh yeah, Lewis and Seb both want their rivals to be each other, but you don't get to pick.
His is Nico
And Seb's is Fernando.
I feel like that's what's going to end up. I feel like there's a chance that what ends up happening is Max and Charles both want
No, I think what'll happen is that I think it'll
Max and George
yes. Because it's always the person if you look back over the course of Formula 1 history, it's always the person that you more than anything don't want it to be.
Yeah, so it'll be George and Max.
And they're going to have to hear about the
So what, are we Charles and like the ghost of Enzo Ferrari?
Yeah, Charles versus the specter of versus the concept versus Ferrari as a concept. That's what it's gonna be. They but I also think like it'll be Charles will be like later and it'll be like Charles Lando. You know what I mean?
No.
It depends. It's all
Lando, I don't think Lando. Like, I guess he's gonna win at WDC, and we're all gonna have to be nice about it. But like,
I still think there's plenty of time for him to flop, but I the panic button is the drawer has been slid open, but also actually, I'm not making any rash judgments until after this full race weekend. We still got
Piastri should have been dead on his outlap in Q3, on his second outlap in Q3.
Piastri won't even.
A real champion would have been it on his outlap, so that he would have gotten pole and Lando would have started 10th.
A real champion wouldn't have given it back in Monza. Unfortunately, I knew that was the moment that I knew that it was Jover for Oscar Piastri. You know what I mean? But maybe not. Maybe he'll get it. I don't know. I feel like it's too early to be making any rash assessments. I am worried about Oscar, but I also think Lando is prone to a flippity flop. So
Piastri just needs like one thing to break his way.
Yeah.
And the momentum flips, right? Like Lando binning it in Vegas, like Vegas quali.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And if Oscar's only P4, like if he gets P2 tomorrow, it's still very close. It's just the momentum, but like the momentum can flip in a second.
Right, that's the thing. And I mean, maybe Kimi Antonelli is that kind of legend in the moment.
Yeah, you know what, Kimmy? I believe in you. You can do it.
Okay, so interesting hypothetical. Kimi and Lewis tangle sometime in the first 10 laps, okay?
Why Kimmy and Lewis?
Sorry, Kimi and Lando.
Oh, I was like, Lewis is like P13. How did he get all the way up there? Good for him.
No, Kimi and Lando.
Okay.
They're either out or at the back. I don't really care. So Charles then inherits the lead of the race.
Hell yeah.
What are you cheering for? Charles win or Oscar win?
Charles, because Oscar getting P2 is just as good, basically. Obviously he could always do with more points, but that's not that big of a difference for me to be.
Those 7 points could be the difference.
Sure, but at the end of the day, in the moment, it would take a lot for me. It would have to be way close. It would have to be the second to last race for me to be caring that much.
Antonelli, I just want to say, I deserve credit for being a savant if Antonelli wins this race.
Listen, if he wins, winning as a rookie in Brazil, I will, again, it would, like I said, it would make me severely readjust my assessment of Kimi Antonelli. I already have a little bit. He seems to be doing really well this weekend, so good for him. But I just need Oscar to.
Do you think we're late enough into this live that I can ask you about the Patriots?
Sure. What about the Patriots?
How are you feeling about the fact that you just have another elite fucking quarterback?
It feels so good to be back. To be
I think simply the question I am stuck asking you is how dare you?
God just likes Boston because it's better than every other place in the world. We are a superior people to New York. I do believe that. I'm kidding. No, it's so great. It is so great. And I'm so happy about it. It was dark there for a moment. But I said even at the time when we were, it was hard to watch. It was we couldn't even fucking get a first down. You know what I mean? And Gerard Mayo looked visibly lost on the sidelines. And it was dark there. But I at the time was ready to accept my fate. I was like, listen, I got to watch the Patriots dynasty, and the two runs really coincided at the two best periods of my life that they probably could have coincided at. One was when I was a kid, and so it's magical for you because you're little, and it's like foundational and everything. And then the second one was when I was in college and could like party. So I was like, if I have to suffer for the rest of my life, but it's just so great to be back. Hashtag that.
Yeah, no, Drake May is incredible. He's a fun watch. He's like Josh Allen, except he has like he has suffered like 10% less CTE.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of fun. You guys are gonna be good. I'm like legit starting to wonder, like, could the Pats like make a real run in the playoffs?
I think they'll I think they'll win at least one playoff game this year.
I mean, like I don't know, like Chargers Patriots.
The minute
Foxborough is gonna be pretty fun.
The minute we beat the Bills, I started defrosting my annoying Pats fan personality. I was like, oh, we're so back, baby. I was like, let's go. I don't have to be gracious anymore.
That game was so stupid. Like, there were like 4 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah,
nobody wanted to win that game.
No, they both tried to lose pretty hard. That
was a real flop off. I'm worried about the Packers, man. Like I don't know if George Love's the guy. I don't like not having a guy. Like, you have to understand, I have had 3 starting quarterbacks in my life, okay?
Yeah.
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. Do you know the longest stretch I have gone without a playoff berth in my Packers fandom? 2 seasons.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. They were always like, I forget you're an Aaron Rodgers fan. That's so crazy.
Okay. Let's be clear. I do not endorse anything from the last 5 years.
At least Tom Brady has the good grace to be quiet about his opinions.
I mean, did you see what he said yesterday about so I guess it's Pat's Bucks this weekend? That, don't make me choose sides.
It's Pat's who this weekend?
Pat's Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
So he was asked who he's cheering for secretly. So I guess he's calling that game. And he was asked about it, and he was like, don't ask me who I'm cheering for. I like both organizations equally. I'm like, oh, so you are telling Bob Kraft to go fuck himself.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I actually don't think I think his beef was with Bill, not with Kraft. But are you happy about the fact that Belichick is just like running UNC into the ground? It's so sad to watch that happen.
Is it though?
I mean, here's the thing. That is the fate that I wish for every man with a controversially young girlfriend. I hope she ruins your life and steals all of your money. I actually love her. I think she's an icon, but it is sad for me. I mean, because, Bill Belichick is such an icon to me that I'm like, but
so what you're saying is that you're a mass hypocrite who hates good in the world.
Why would I hate good in the world? Because I don't like 70-year-old men being weird.
I don't know. I'm just making fun of you.
I will say all-time upset for Tom Brady being the least weird of all of that trio.
I mean, I don't know. The not eating strawberries thing is still fucking weird, no matter how much we pretend it's not.
Listen, if Tom Brady wants to have an eating disorder in the privacy of his own home, that's on him. He isn't getting jerked off in strip malls or dating a friggin' 20-year-old.
Was it really in a strip mall?
Yes. Here's the thing. I support sex work. I think it should be legal. He was supporting small business and entrepreneur, if you will. Here's my thing. It's really the lack of judgment for me. You know what I mean? Like, why are you, a billionaire, getting jerked off in a strip mall? You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is be classy and buy a hooker like a real rich guy.
Right. A highly paid, discreet professional. Why are you... that to me is like, it reminds me of the sex scandal of the Blair MP who cabinet member who got robbed by a male prostitute, and then reported it to the police. It's like, this isn't about your midnight proclivities. It's about the fact that if you get robbed by a prostitute, you got to eat that shit. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I agree with you.
Why are we? You should, as a billionaire, you should never be in a strip mall. Period. If you're in a strip,
there are people to go get those things for you.
right? There is no. If you're in a strip mall, something has gone horrifically awry. You know what I mean? Like, you do not belong here, sir. I mean, no, listen, in the grand scheme of things that NFL owners have done, it's like not that bad, but that's a low bar.
That is the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Right. Like, okay, you're not jerking off in people's shoes, so like, I guess we'll take a win where we can get it, but you know. I would prefer
What NFL owner was that again?
Jerry Jones.
What the fuck?
Yeah, wait, you don't know about this? Oh, he gave an interview to some reporter or whatever, and then he like brought him on his bus and they got all fucked up or whatever. And he tells the reporter that sometimes he makes everyone take off their shoes, and he's like, sometimes like I go jerk off in their shoes to show dominance. And then obviously the next day the Cowboys comms people were like, hey, could you not print that? And the reporter was like, yeah, no, that's absolutely going in my book. Sorry. Yep. It is one of my football Roman empires. I'm like, that is a very crazy thing to do. Oh no, I think I've lost you. Jerry Jones.
Oh, what did I hear? No, I heard all of that.
Oh, okay.
I was attempting to send a sports bet to a friend.
But yes, Jerry Jones is like the number one. But again, the bar is in hell.
Can we talk about the fact that Jerry Jones is just like his refusal to spend actual money is like costing the Cowboys like the JC Super Bowl?
Yeah. Here's the thing, like, yeah, he's
Robert Kraft is like is a scumbag, but like I have no doubt that he will spend the like dollars because the NFL salary cap. Like people think the cost cap is like kind of fake. No, the NFL salary cap is fake as hell.
Yeah, ever since Bill Belichick discovered the concept of inflation, they have beat the salary cap.
But basically, like as far as I understand it, like if you spend more like cash dollars up front, the cap hit is lower.
Yeah.
Which is why like some of the like cheap teams refuse to like sign these big deals because like they don't want to spend the like literal cash dollars.
Yeah.
But like Kraft doesn't give a shit about the cash.
No, he is like real. He's real life rich. Like a lot of these owners, especially like the more like legacy ones, are not real life rich, right?
No, they're asset rich, cash poor.
Exactly.
Or
so
like cash medium.
They need, and like don't get me wrong, like we shouldn't be crying for these people, but they need to make money from the team. In Kraft, the people like the Krafts view this as like a legacy asset for their family that they don't mind pouring money into, like a home. You know what I mean?
Because they also enjoy the act of owning a team, right? Like,
right.
You know, they like the fact that they can, you know, that they have this both as like a thing they can just like, you know, if any of the Kraft children in any of their business endeavors ever need to wine and dine somebody, right?
Right. Yeah, no, and also
like you have the owner's suite at the Patscape. Like that's a pretty nice wine and a pretty like nice dine, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm sure it like is very helpful for your business ventures in New England to be the owner of the New England Patriots, right?
Yeah, for sure. And like, but you know, like the contract on Drake May will be, if May wants literally like $150 million up front in like hard cash,
Yeah.
Kraft will pay it.
Yeah, but the difference with the Adelsons is the Adelsons don't care about being sport. To them, they view it as like an asset. They view it like venture capitalists. They don't like the people like the Kraft family enjoy owning, like they enjoy the social cachet that they get from being the owner of
and not just a team, but a good team.
the
right?
team.
Like,
Exactly. And that whereas the Addisons like are Vegas people. So like they're more they already have that like level of cachet from other things, presumably from being like the richest people in America. But
no, but like they're just looking to flip them out as like they bought for whatever. They're just looking to sell for whatever plus 20% in 3 years.
right. I actually kind of support the conspiracy theory that they're trying to get the Mavericks to move to Vegas. I mean, it's not going to happen because Vegas is like dying, but
One, Vegas is dying, and two, like it seems pretty clear that Vegas expansion is going to happen. That LeBron is going to have a part of a team in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the other fun rumor that I like fully believe is that like there's some handshake deal with Adam Silver that LeBron gets like gifted 5% of the Vegas expansion team.
You know what? Why not? But they're definitely gonna.
Sterling David Stern gave MJ a fucking sweetheart price on the Hornets.
Right. Because I think it behooves. They see the NFL and like the owners are part of it, But I also think that that's part of the reason why like Ferrari, so because it's the family. But I just think they'll definitely, whether it be expansion team or they move something, like they're definitely putting a team in Vegas in the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, so the thing is that James Dolan doesn't want to expand. That's the big bit of news is that like Dolan has decided that like giving up, like turning his cut of the TV revenue from 1/30th to 1/32nd
is like a fate he cannot survive.
Correct. Partially, by the way, because like he's dumped all of his money into all these spheres that didn't end up happening or haven't happened yet, and so he's
into what? Into fears?
In the sphere, the Vegas.
Oh my! That is owned by James. The sphere is owned by James Dolan.
Yeah.
I just want to come in here and say that I've never been more right about anything in my life. I sensed that the sphere had an evil aura about it.
But so basically, Dolan is actually like sneaky not as like cash rich right now because he's spending so much money to try and build these fucking things.
There's more than one dome?
So they spent a lot of money trying to get one in London, and then the government said no.
Thank God. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Has the city not suffered enough?
They're trying to like build one in like Dubai and in like.
Well, that would make sense.
But like it costs a lot of money, and the Vegas sphere isn't making quite as much as they expected.
Well, because it's expensive. Also, London's the worst place you could do that because the main cost to operate the sphere is electricity, and electricity in England costs 1 billion times more than it does in Nevada. Also, solar panels work a lot better in Nevada than they do in London for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
But Dubai would make sense. It's sunny, tacky.
I love how it's sunny is the answer, but
well, it does. They run a lot of it off solar panels, but also it's like Dubai and Vegas are very similar in a way to me. Like they're both kind of soulless, tacky places.
No, for sure. Okay, I gotta run.
Yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna go too. I'll be painting my edges.
Tomorrow?
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oscar Piastri Redemption.
Oscar, we believe in you, Oscar. All right.
Oh,
See ya. All right, bye.